Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Sports Select Sports Talk. I'm Mitchell Clinton, your host, joined today from WSA Winnipeg, the president and head coach, Eduardo Badescu. How are you doing today?
Very good, and thank you for having me in the show.
Of course. Your roster now consists mainly on WSA Winnipeg of players between 15 and 23, quite an age range, obviously. What is it that you look for in the younger players that make it on the team?
What we're looking for is the younger player. You're talking about the Alimos, which is the youngest players we have in a team. It's really the players to hopefully make it to the U17 national team. The whole league, the whole team is all made for people to give them a chance to develop and hopefully to get some of them in the national team, some of them hopefully university, and some of them the pro level.
Okay, so the difference obviously between a 15-year-old and a 23-year-old, even some of the younger guys on the team, is quite an age gap. As a coach, how do you work with that in practice? Is it primarily more kind of development level for them in practices, or is it something that you're kind of teaching an entire team and they kind of have to catch up?
That's exactly. We're trying very hard to actually take care of the individual. Physically and technically, we don't make any difference. What we do is the way to approach the communication with some of them. It's more for their age suitable because you need them time to grow. For the older one, you can be a little bit using a different method of teaching.
So is there a difference, in terms of playing time that they see throughout the season based on the fact that they're a bit younger, still obviously developing, trying to catch up to some of the older guys?
We will not have them in a team if they could not play. Like the one that we're talking, and we have about 6 of them that are very close in that age, 16 to 18 years old. They're all going to play at least 50%, and some of them are going to start. Our is really a professional development league, so we're trying very hard to actually help them to develop. And nothing better than this, just to give them that opportunity. For sure, and the big home opener for you guys is May 19th at the Winnipeg Indoor Soccer Complex, but your season kicks off on May 12th in Colorado. How is the team looking as the start of the PDL season gets closer? We are very close, to be where we wanted to be. Maybe a week away from what we hoped we're going to be in our schedule. Just some of the weather was not feasible for us. But we are over there. We hope that the player we have 4 players waiting for United States and 1 from Canada, from Edmonton, Winnipeggers, of course, but they're going to university there. And that will be when they come in just to get the team together. But the practices are going very good. The players start to understand the system. And slowly, hopefully, this is going to come to what we wanted to do this year and be at least 500 and fighting even for the playoffs if possible. Excellent. So,
you talked about how you're about a week away. In what regards are you kind of a little bit further off? You mentioned systems. Is there anywhere else that you're kind of just a little bit behind where you'd like to be? It's the team spirit. The team spirit is really what it's all about. And the team spirit, when we define team spirit, is focus on goals and focus as a team. And that's what we do because we're missing some of the players. Once we get that, I think we're going to be tactically, we start to understand what we need to do defensively and offensively. Transition, we still have a little bit to touch on it, but we are okay on it. But the most important is the team spirit, and that's why hopefully we have a psychologist, Dr. Colton, that hopefully is going to come and help with that also. Okay, and we're getting into the show, and viewers might be wondering, why am I wearing a scarf? Why did this happen? Well, I was having a little bit of some coffee before you guys showed up, and just as they walked in the door, I might have had a minor spillage, but hey, supporting all at the same time, right? I thought you like the scarf. That's what I thought. It looks good. In my opinion, you get to keep it. Well, it's on camera now. Like you can't take that back now. We talked a little bit about what your team kind of has to improve upon as it gets closer to the season. Where do your strengths lie? The strength is really in the team. Our motto this year will be a nickname, how you want it to be, will be wolves, like a pack of wolves. We're going to work as a team and everything as a team. It's not the strength, it's no more in the individual. It's meant on the group. And that's what I think most of the players are players that have been with the WSA together for 5, 6, even 10 years. So that's what I think the strength will be this year, more than anything else. Okay, so now you talk about the team being a pack of wolves, so it might be hard to set aside some individuals, but talk about some individual players on your team that you feel might be key components this year.
Oh, that is so hard because I just said to you that we are working, we are focused on teams. So, you know, I mean, it will be very hard for me to go on individual. But we really have the goalies, Kyle and Dylan from last year, and we have the great addition of Tyson. He was with the University of Winnipeg, and he also went in the States, in England. We have Ali, as I mentioned before, he came back from Vancouver Whitecaps. We have Alex Ignat, that is one of the younger kids coming in and do it. Moses, which is Oli Strang national team last year. Greg Kulzicki and Jordan Smith, that they are the captains of the team. So the whole team, the starting 11, the 12 players, really are very strong for us. So it's a team sport this time.
And you talked about the younger players a little bit earlier on the show, and you know I think that's something that you know people watching WSA Winnipeg, you know they're going to be interested to kind of see how these younger players are doing. Can you give us a little bit of an introduction into some of those younger guys that we talked about and where they can see them on the field?
Okay, you're gonna have we're gonna start with Ali. We're really trying to make him a number 10 or will be onto the left side. We're looking at Aaron, which is gonna be onto the right side, Aaron Badescu. Moses in the center, Danny DeMilo either center or the forward. Greg, who's gonna be the creator midfielder or the closing midfielder. We haven't decided on it. And the other players, we have Kyle Moraldo, who is in the States, and BJ Kabamba. They are coming from the States. There will be hopefully the strength in the defense. We try to put in defense kids 20 and older, or that's what it is. Midfield and up, we try to go with the young talent that we have in it.
Gotcha. So when it comes to other teams in the league, you talked about a little bit earlier wanting to be, you know, your expectations about 500, hopefully getting into the playoffs. When it comes to other teams in the league, who will be some of the ones that may give your team some trouble?
Every year we know there are 3 teams in the league that are very strong. We know, and in order, every year almost the same way. It's Thunder Bay, Des Moines, and Colorado. Those 3 are usually the top of the league for the last 5 years. We hope we're going to break this year and we're going to sneak in there somehow. But those are the top 3 teams. That St. Louis always is in the middle of the pack, so you don't know which one. It's what's happening is most of the teams, they have university students. As soon as they finish, they go and they get new players. Like Thunder Bay, for example, 70% will be a new team, but they bring lots of players from outside. We are taking players only from Winnipeg, and that is the reason that we really do, just to develop the players.
And you talk about Colorado being one of the tougher teams in the league, starting your season against them on May 12th. Talk a little bit about the home opener coming up. Obviously, you guys are focused primarily on Colorado. That's the big one coming up to start the year. But do you look a little bit ahead to the home opener and the excitement around that?
To be honest, I never do that. You know, I mean, you have the long term and the short term that you always have in your head. We have other people like Jim Rurak. He's the one that takes care of the game day preparation and so on. The Colorado trip is in our head. They're playing first on May 5th in Des Moines, so we might gonna go and watch that one, and we'll have a good idea what they are all about. But the home opener, it's really the key. We're playing at the indoor this year, and because of the weather in Winnipeg, if I knew any better, I would have gone outside. Like, it's amazing. But what I will really hope that this time we really fill up that indoor arena, because they have a capacity only of 1,000 people. So I would like nothing more just to say, you know, I mean, it's done. It will be really nice.
I mean, this is obviously a perfect time. If you want to keep up with WSA Winnipeg, find out their schedule so that you can pack that indoor soccer complex. WSAWinnipeg.ca has got the schedule, all the player information. You can also like them on Facebook and check them out on Twitter. All that information is right underneath me right now on the little key. We're going to get into some quick hitters, just 5 quick questions. Just you can put as much thought into them as you like, or you can answer really quickly. We'll kind of see how it goes. Most underrated player on your team heading into this season?
Into this season or last year? Because you see, we have one. Greg Norman was last year the most underrated player, and he made made the team, the lineup actually most of the time. For this year, would be very hard, because I have not decided yet on that one.
Okay. Your favorite place to eat in Winnipeg?
Favorite place to eat in Winnipeg? You are so good. I really like that. 110% with our sponsors, which is Boston Pizza.
Good choice. The best part about soccer in Winnipeg?
Best part of soccer in Winnipeg is that really it's an ethnic group. who really loves the game. It's just we have to find a way to bring him out.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and your favorite soccer memory? I know this might be a tough one, so if you want to say a couple, go right ahead, but what is your favorite soccer memory?
My favorite soccer memory, you're right, it's always very tough to do that. I was asked this question about 3 years ago when I was coaching professionally in Europe, and at that time was my first professional game. Mm-hmm. But since then, really is when I first job coaching professionally in Europe. That would be the number one. Number two was when I did my, for 3 weeks where we AS Roma, and I have to do my internship for the UEFA Pro license. That would be the second one. And third one, definitely the PDL. Yeah. You know, I mean, getting into the PDL will be the memory that will stick with us.
Excellent. So, and we talked about a couple of games that are on the schedule this year. The last question would be, one game on the PDL schedule that you've got circled on your calendar already?
The Thunder Bay.
Thunder Bay?
Thunder Bay, when they come to Winnipeg, we always have a rivalry already started last year. It started a little bit before, but last year it really is. So we really wanted to do well against them.
All right, that's thanks, Eduardo, for joining me on the show today. Once again, if you want to keep up with WSA Winnipeg, WSAWinnipeg.ca. Again, it has the schedule, it has the rosters, it's got pretty much everything you could possibly need to follow the team throughout the year, so you can go and check them out throughout the season. You can also follow them on Twitter and like them on Facebook. When we started shooting today, I saw you guys were up about 470 likes. Let's try to even double that, triple that. Let's get some support for these guys going through throughout the year. Thanks again for joining us.
Thank you very much. It's really nice to be here.
I'm sure we'll have you on throughout the season as well. We'll do some analysis as well. You know, we'll get right down to it.
That would be really nice.
All right, there we go. We'll see you next week on Sports Select Sports Talk.